got this.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, viewers from around the world, welcome from the Paradiso in Amsterdam to Summer Dance 2021. And right next to me is the one and only co-host, Jennifer.
Yes, Andrew, we are teamed up again. I'm so happy to be here.
In the home base of the festival.
We're here in the Paradiso live right now. And the people are with us. And there are some people here with us, but you are here, I am here.
And
are you excited?
We're here in the physical, even though there's Corona, and we're going to do it. A full week of dancing, but we're not alone.
Absolutely not alone, because this is like, indeed, the new edition of this Europe's, let's brag about it, Europe's biggest, baddest, boldest, dopest, funkiest festival.
Amen. But we couldn't do it without two gentlemen that we call the foundation, the cornerstone.
The founding fathers of course, we have him here as the MC, but also as that man who gives us that wisdom, the one and only John. And of course, Mr. Funk himself. How could we be funky without Casey the Funkaholic?
Are we ready? You ready, killer? Tell me when you're ready. I'm ready.
They ready.
We
so
ready.
I hope the people at home are also ready. And if you are somewhere else but the Paradiso, you cannot be here in any of these days, do not worry, because we got y'all. Make sure you follow the socials. I'm talking about Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and most important, the website, summerdanceforever.com, so you can stay updated, check out all the battles, and all the good stuff. Because tonight we're going to do a pre-cap. What happened last year, all those goodies, all those sweet moments. Of course, we're going to have a little sneak peek at what is coming this week. And we're going to do a little intro of the judges of the battles.
So much to do.
So much to do.
Shall we go?
Let's go. But first, a little funk of Casey the Funkaholic. Of course.
Wow, Summer Dance is back in full effect, live from its home base, the Paradiso in Amsterdam. And I must say, looking at this recap, you know, it just gives me a feeling of pride. I'm just so happy and proud to be part of this family. And next to me is one of the co-founders, the linking pin, who all brought us together. John, what are your feelings when you watch the recaps, see what we did last year?
Coming back, I mean, watching, you know, the trailer and all that, it just gives me a great feeling because we never thought we could have done it last year, so we had to find a way to do it, and we made it happen. And you know, that was like, you could say, a startup for this year.
It was like a dry run.
Yeah, man.
And this year we're back, and we're still in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say that physical fitness and dancing being part of physical fitness has been forgotten by many governments around the world. But you guys here, you and Case and Luke and the rest of the team, you managed to put together a festival, a full edition, live and online. People are checking us in Japan, in America, in Mexico, and Brazil, but they're also going to be dancing here in the Paradiso. How hopeful or how somber were you at the beginning before you got this together this year? Could you tell me something about that? What was your feeling?
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah?
Because you needed to adjust yourself every time to the, you know, the rules and regulations of, you know, because we're living in a really crazy time. And we had to find a way to make this happen. So it is actually very, very special that, you know, this is happening right now.
Yeah. And was it difficult to get it done?
Yes, it was. But I must say, big up to the team, an incredible team, you know, who dove into the, you know, into the mud to make this really happen, because it was very important, as we are social beings, to, you know, find a time and a way for everybody to meet in this incredible church.
Paradiso. In
right.
Nederland.
That's
So
right,
we
man.
go from somber, Nederland, to happy. Hopefulness and being at home in a lockdown, going through paperwork. Can we get this done? Was there any music that got you through? Because this is about music.
You know, there's been some evolution. You know, we stepped into a different time, and every time I was playing that track, and I don't know what happened, it just touched me in some type of way, and I started having tears just out of nowhere.
Hold on. John Never Cry Superman.
Nah, that's not true, man.
Our shoulder to lean on was shedding a tear.
A real man,
yeah?
a real man's supposed to be crying.
Can we ask Casey the Funkaholic if he can share some of this magical cry music with us? Come on, brother Case. Let's go. Yes. I feel it. I don't know. We need to stop because you got me. John, there's a lot. I can't wait to see the whacking and all the dancing that's going to go on, because last year was epic, historic what happened. But out of everything that's going to happen this coming week, which you can check on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, don't forget to log on if you're at home and not here in the Paradiso. Please do that. What is it that you look forward to seeing? If you have to choose most, what will stand out? Don't give me
Happiness,
the
man.
everything.
Explosion.
Yeah?
Explosion of happiness.
No, but there must be one element of the festival that you're looking, because you're.
You know, especially because that's like officially the first whacking battle.
Exactly.
Because last year we had something online.
Yeah.
But this year they're allowed to battle, so I can't wait to see that happen. And if you look at the house and the hip hop, we kind of put the new generation on the platform.
Okay.
You understand? Because these are like the 20-year-olds who are like taking over. You understand? And if you look at popping, we have Damon Frost is like a
Amen.
legend who is actually going to judge and battle. I cannot wait to see that. So it is, to be able to make this happen, I think is really,
It's amazing.
really special. And I can't wait to see what them DJs are going to come with, man.
And I can't wait to see the drip when it comes to to the whacking and all the because the drip
and
game is going to be.
Don't forget, it's like we found a way to kind of, have a television program and still keeping it raw.
Amen, brother. Let's continue. Jennifer, sister.
Yes,
how you doing?
So I'm here, of course, next to the amazing Mr. Funk, Casey, the Funkaholic.
Hey.
How are you feeling today?
Today I'm fine.
Yeah?
It's wonderful to be here and, that we're doing something.
Right? Super excited.
Yeah, definitely.
And if we're looking back, because indeed, crazy times, weird times, especially you being a person who works in the entertainment as a DJ, how do you look back on these year and a half of Corona?
It's been a really rough time, very, very rough. And, I've been living in clubs for 35 years, and jet lag was my middle name, So, and now being in a lockdown, and for me it was really difficult to listen to club music. I was just chilling to jazz and atmospheric music because it just gave me the craving back to clubs and the sweaty clubs and the low frequencies. I miss the low frequencies so much.
You had to switch the vibe for a second in the house to get.
Definitely.
So what brought you back to that club vibe, that feel?
I got this track from Inkswell, a friend of mine from Australia, like a few weeks ago. It's an old track from Domu, Umot. And but this one got me jumping in my house and
give us a snippet of that good.
It's a party. Just love yourself as much as you can. All of them are sister, all of them brethren. Mash up the vibe for the right you're in. Roll your body like mama make dumplings. Move if you feel alright.
So this got you going back to, okay, I'm ready to be in the clubs again, meet the people again, feel that vibe again. Theater back, and we're having amazing hip-hop dance theater makers here. We'll shine our light on them, such as The Ruggeds, Neda Sue, but more on that later.
Yeah, and speaking of a theater, the great thing about being with a live what I was saying is being with a live audience here is cool, but don't forget that on the other side of this Leidseplein, Leidse Square, there is the ITA, the International Theater in Amsterdam, and that's where a great talent, Botis Seva, is performing his piece Black Dog as we speak at this moment. But don't worry, it's also the place where you were able to see all the other theater shows that have been programmed as part of Summer Dance Forever. And if you want to get to know Botis a little, we spoke to him before he came to Amsterdam, and you can watch that clip now.
So yeah, my name is Botis Seva. I'm artistic director of a company called Far From The Norm, and we are a hip-hop theatre collective. So our main things that we create basically theatre, but we also do outdoor work, and our main purpose is making work to challenge audiences and kind of bring a new perspective into hip hop dance as a culture. And that's also build a new language for audience to appreciate. Just because growing up, there wasn't enough. I never knew what hip hop theatre was until I kind of got introduced to breaking eventually in London and John Z.D. in that scene. I understood what hip hop theatre was, and I think I always mention it because it's something a lot of people, when they watch the work, they always think it's contemporary dance. But what we do as a company, we experiment with we do use contemporary as in the now and the dance, and we also use our main root is hip hop culture. So we use a lot of the foundations from hip hop, and then we try to kind of merge it with contemporary of now and find the basic new language. So it's not, for a lot of people watching it, for them, they may not see the hip hop in it, but the hip hop's in the music, it's in the culture, it's in the message, and I think it's a big statement of why I use hip hop, because I want a lot of people to see just the different ways of what it could be, and it's not one thing. Now with hip hop, and when you're also looking at street dance culture on TV shows and there's so many different things. A lot of people are now maybe sometimes confused. They're like, oh, what is it? What does it actually mean? And I think it's Yeah, there is still kind of a lot of confusion. I think in theatre, it's still, for me, still new in terms of, I think it's been obviously happening for years, but for me, it's still new, kind of developing the language of people into a theatre when audiences come to watch it, how you explain it to them, how you have that conversation. So I think it's still kind of got a long way to go, but with festivals like Summer Dance Forever and Breaking Invention, like, you know, it's helping audiences to understand it a bit more, I think. I think my thing is audiences being able to educate audiences enough for them to understand that, oh, this is actually a thing. It's not just like a thing that we just randomly do in our houses. It's like things that we've thought about, and actually it has intellect, it has intelligence, you know, and that's where I would love to kind of see it go. People are taking it seriously as they take contemporary dance or ballet dance, everything else that's come before. So yeah, it's got a long way, but I think it's growing. I started Far From the Norm when I was 19 when I started the company. 18, 19. And I think one of my reasons for starting it was just because I think a lack of doing things, that there wasn't really much in kind of my local area. You had two options, basically just be outside on the streets, just kind of doing basically stupidness or things that kind of led you in trouble, or try to find something to do. And I think I was lucky enough to have like a community centre that was kind of around the community hall. I used to go to there like every day. I think just getting people to listen to you or trust your vision, because some of the ideas that I was coming up with were a bit, for some people, they were a bit weird. They're like, why would you be doing this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just, you know, because a lot of the piece at the beginning, even to today, was very dark. So a lot of my lighting, when you used to watch the piece, it used to be, you couldn't really see anybody, and everyone was like, yeah, you're not going to go far with this, and it's too dark for people to see. And it's weird because now when you watch Black Dog, it's a dark piece, and then people are like, "Oh yeah, it works now." So I think it's a lot of trust. I think people still, at 19, people still just think you're just a little kid who's not aware of things. And I think at 19, I felt like I was, not that I knew everything, but I knew enough to be doing what I'm doing. But there was one show that we did called the piece was called Wreck, and it had 5 black dancers in it and 1 white dancer, but I never thought about that when I made the work. And I think we took it to, I think it was somewhere in Denmark, or it was somewhere out. I can't remember where it was, but we presented the work, and we had like a lot of someone sent me like a big massive like review on the work, saying that they felt very offended by the work because I was basically using black bodies not in the right way, and it was quite basically rude, and I shouldn't use black bodies in this way. And that was from a white audience member who watched it, and for me that was very interesting, just to hearing someone say, "Oh, why am I talking about black bodies in this way?" And I'm talking how I've seen it. And I think so some audiences get quite offensive a lot. Like, I think some of the shows that we've done, people have been, it's too violent for some people. They said, "Oh, it's too angry," or I'm like, this is not angry, this is just my reality. And but even now, even reviews, even for Black Dog, we get people saying people with hoods, and it's like gang members with hoods. And I'm like, you're not going to say that to anyone else, you know. You see the skin color and you see a hood, and also, obviously that's a stereotype where your brain automatically thinks about all of these things that you've seen in your past. So but in a way, I love it. I love like how the audience think like that, because this is why we're trying to change perspectives of it's not that, you know, it is, yes, we're talking about racial issues, but we're trying to find just a different way to speak about it so people can understand. Black Dog is a hip-hop theatre show. That's the way to start. Inspiration came from my son. When my son was born, I didn't know what was going to happen in life, and everything just changed drastically. And just during that first year, I went through kind of just a lot of ups and downs and trying to figure out like what the value of life and identity was. And during that time, I wanted to, after having a son, I realized that I wanted to really tap into like childhood and what basically childhood is and what it means. So I just basically started writing kind of a lot. And this idea of Black Dog came because I got inspired by this book called Shoot the Damn Dog. And it's basically a book about depression. So yeah, in a nutshell, the show it's not necessarily about depression. It's called Black Dog because it's basically trying to deal with a dark force, some sort of dark forces that we have in our past, our traumas that we have in our past, trying to deal with in now. So it's a bit of a roller coaster. Not having a father figure, that's the most kind of difficult thing that a lot of, for me, and also for a lot of young men that I'm around who haven't grown up with fathers, they know that kind of feeling that you know, having a boy and knowing that he's grown up with a father and I'm looking after him, it gets you sad to understand that you didn't have that. So you're almost like, the trigger of that was like, what happened to me? Why didn't I have this thing that he's having? So you kind of build sometimes a little bit of resentment. But it triggered the black dog because it made me go back to my childhood, my past, trying to realize why, just trying to understand why these things kind of happened. And I will never know why, but and yeah, a lot of it kind of, because it causes you just kind of keep thinking it. That's why I think the idea of a black dog or depression, or the idea of thinking about depression gets to you a little bit, because you're just caught up in this kind of headspace all the time, consistently trying to basically escape, you know. So it is that black dog is about trying to escape that way of thinking and trying to find is there a new way, you know? Is there a new light? Yeah, I feel like this piece is, to be fair, I'm normally not really proud of any pieces I make, because I'm always just like, oh, it's never good. But with this one, I'm just super proud. I'm really, really like humbly proud of it, because it's just taken so long to really make. And I think I can now acknowledge all of that work that's been put into it, and the performers as well that are in it. They're just kind of incredible in terms of the amount of energy and love they give to it. So it feels ready, and I've never felt like any piece has been ready. It's ready because it's now time for the audience to experience it. So I think it stands in a good place of just letting it be and not trying to force the work too much. Come and see it. Please come see it.
Please go and see it. Botis Seva, you gotta support this brother. He's a genius, and it's just a brilliant show to watch here at Summer Dance Forever 2021 edition. But while we're speaking about all this crazy interesting theater and stuff that you can check out this week, let's have a look at what we can actually experience and enjoy at Summer Dance.
Yes, theater is here, and we are very, very, very proud to be shining our light on some amazing Dutch theater makers this year. And one group of theater makers that we've invited, you already know. They are worldwide known, they've traveled, and they will bless this stage this year, not with one, but with 2 pieces. And we have a trailer for you to check out. And after that, I'll have a small conversation, but check out the trailer first. very excited about that. More excited that I have one of these amazing makers here with us in the studio in the Paradiso. Roy Overdijk from the Ruggeds. A very, very, very warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Very excited that you are here. Just view this trailer and let's start with Water Brothers. Because this is about two brothers having a friendly battle, or is it rivalry?
I mean, with brothers, it's always kind of a rivalry, but it's always friendly in the end. Basically, it's me and my little, I mean, not so little brother anymore, Lilu.
Yeah.
We have a very close connection with water. Like the way we like to perform naturally has a big resemblance of water. So we were like, okay, let's share this thing and dig even deeper for more water, and let's create something with this as a concept. And like we change our approach with the floor, the same does water. Like when it gets colder, water turns into ice and it gets slippery. So in the beginning we were very fluid in our movement, and as it gets colder we start to do more slides, and I try to copy Lilu, but then in the end he's way faster than me because he's young and he's almost the best in the world. So
Yeah.
in the end it's just me watching him like performing a lot of creative things with the things that I just taught him. And yeah, in the end it's just me. I'm almost like an audience member, just enjoying him in his youth, in his amazingness, and then we share together the thing that we would like to perform. And yeah, it's just us two brothers poking each other, sharing some things on the floor, and then yeah, wrapping it around.
Enjoying each other's greatness and challenging each other also. But it sounds like it's something that's really, you really took out of your own life, like real life, translating that onto stage.
Yeah, exactly. Like he grew up with us. Like when he joined the crew, he was 8 and he's 21 now. So
that's real.
More than half of his life is with us, you know. So it's crazy, like how I saw this transformation from this little kid with a very high voice to this guy who's stronger than me right now. You know, it's crazy. And yeah, it's beautiful to see the way he adapts, and that's why I was like, okay, we have to do something together, because the things that I taught you, you elevated it to another level. Let's try to elevate it even more together.
Yes, nice. The glowing and growing of each other.
Yeah.
And when I see this trailer, for instance, it looks amazing. But also, I heard a little bird told us that there were some challenges making this, like somebody broke a leg or had to be dragged there and where. How do y'all deal with that? Tell us the juice.
Okay, so the juice. I mean, because of COVID, everything got postponed every time, so it gave us more time and freedom to be creative with the things that we had. But then someone from our crew, he got a knee surgery, and he does all the film stuff from our crew. But then we had a few ideas like, okay, so it's water, we're gonna shoot something when it's raining, we're gonna shoot something when it's snowing, and we have to do something on ice.
Yeah.
And it froze, there was ice, but he had his knee surgery, and he had to film everything. So what did? We brought a sled.
Yeah.
He sat on it with his camera. I pulled him with my ice skates, and then Lilu has time to do something on the ice, and this is what you see in the trailer. So it was really,
wow.
Yeah. Also, making the video and everything around it, it was constantly adapting to the environment, and it resembles like the essence of the piece. So in the end, it felt super natural and very nice, actually. Yeah.
I love it. Y'all get fluid and creative with what we have right now.
Exactly.
And speaking of, you also work closely with Shailes
Yes.
Bahoran.
Shailes, the sensei.
Yes, tell us, how did that go?
So what we like to do in our performances is really keep it very close to us. So everything we did for Stage Shift is made by us, or for someone, made by someone who's very close to us. So Jesse Kemper, he did all the music. He's in the crew, and he also performs the music live. Nick made all the video content and all the pictures, so that's also part of the crew. So we like to keep everything within the family. And Shilas, he knows us since we were very little, since we were, I don't know, like 12 or 13. So the same thing that I have with Lilu, he has it with us. So I was like, okay, he's such good in his thing, what he's doing in the theater world, and he has so much knowledge. He already worked with Virgil with another piece, so I was like, okay, if I'm gonna make something for Virgil, I have to bring Shilas on board because he has such a good connection with us, and I'm very happy that he was part of the team. Yeah.
Awesome. So Water Brothers and also Turn, because there are two pieces.
Yes. Yeah. Two pieces, both about adapting basically. And with Lilu and me, it's really about adapting to your environment and changing the approach of the floor and how the way you touch things. And with Virgil's piece, Turns, it's about adapting to life basically. Like, I grew up with him. I met him when I was 5. He lived on my street. The first thing that I was doing with him was playing outside, ringing his doorbell like, can Virgil come out and play? Yeah. He taught me my first flips in the playground. And then the ball kept on rolling. He was like, yo, there's a class in our street. Let's follow this class. And now, almost 20 years later, I'm having this conversation about him with you. You know, it's crazy.
This is amazing. Yeah. It's like glowing and growing within and giving up. And you also said, indeed, it's about adapting. We had a year behind us where we had to adapt a lot. Yeah. What did that do for the Ruggeds, for the family, and what did that bring for you coming on the stage right now during Summer Dance Forever?
I mean, for the process, it did a lot of good things, I think, because it gave us room to explore more things that we usually don't have a lot of time for, and it also gave us like breathing room to, basically do stuff that we would like to do personally also, because me and my boys, like, we're really a crew, but we're also a family. And in a family, you have to give each other room to do their own thing sometimes. And COVID gave that room that usually is too packed with battling everywhere, doing shows everywhere. So now it's people gained another skill, which is also very useful for us. So I think it gave us a lot these years. Yeah.
Nice. And we're going to experience all of that goods during these pieces. So to the people at home, make sure you get your tickets. Check that out. Enjoy the whole thing, the festival, everything, and of course your family. So thanks again for being here.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
And I hope you got your ticket or getting your ticket, because besides the Ruggeds, we also have Neda Sue, and she made this amazing piece called Bloom. It's a crumb-based piece, and it's about celebrating collective authenticness or something, if I'm saying it correct, because I get very enthusiastic about this, and I can tell you a lot, but the most important thing I will tell you, make sure that you have a ticket to go and see this, because you want to see it, you want to feel it. What day did I say it was? I didn't say it yet. It's coming right now, so note it in your agenda. Thursday, the 19th of August. You can see these pieces. You can see Water Brothers, Turn, but also Bloom. You do not want to miss that. Note it in your agenda. Put it right there. You're with us whole week. We got much more Summer Dance Forever coming for you. But first, we will have a small dance break with our amazing KC.
Doing it, and then I want you to say, we are the world, we're the people of the world that are doing it and gonna do it forever. And I'm gonna tell you right now, we gotta get it together. It's about the vibe, keep the vibe alive. Keep the vibe alive. It's about the vibe, keep the vibe alive. Yeah, you gotta keep that vibe alive, baby. It's about the vibe, keep the vibe alive. If you don't keep it alive, you gotta keep it going.
is you keep us dancing and dancing and dancing, but you also inspire us with mini documentaries. Last year you did it, and this year you're doing it again. And you specifically chose the legend, James Brown. Why?
James Brown, well, he's the foundation of everything, right?
Yeah.
And I spoke to a few judges, and they were all talking about the funk in the dance, funk in the music. So let's start with the foundation.
You can't say funk
Mr.
without
Brown.
saying Mr. Brown. Let's take it out. Check it out.
Hey, man, you sure you want to hear this, man? You sure about that, man? All right.
Hit me!
In the 80s, drum machines started to dominate the dance floor. Analog drums made the way for drum machines. But the machines needed to be fed with sounds. One of the beats most sampled was the funky drummer of James Brown. The drummer's name? Clyde Stubblefield. In the 80s, this drum beat was funky food for hungry sample machines.
1, 2, 3, 4, get it! Yes, the rhythm, the rebel. Without applause, I'm lowering my level. Just cause I'm from the CPT, punk police are afraid of me, huh?
It's a demo. Some people call me shiny, some people call me Rada, and those who try to diss, I just knocks them out the bottom.
According to the website Who Sampled Who, Funky Drummer was sampled more than 1,700 times, and especially in hip-hop.
Playback!
The group that used the song the most was Public Enemy, and the producer's name, Hank Shockley. Public Enemy was heavily influenced by James Brown, not only in his music, also in a political way, and his super bad attitude, of course, but we'll get back to that later. Let's talk about Public Enemy's music. Everybody knows Chuck D, but producer Hank Shockley is an equal legend. He was a true musical pioneer, experimenting with new sounds and techniques. As music moved from analog into digital, a whole new world opened up. You have to realize that music, until the mid-80s, was made by musicians. In the early years of hip-hop, the sound was developed by DJs, cutting and scratching using breaks and drum machines. Recording hip-hop in a studio was something totally new, and new skills had to be invented. And believe it or not, the first Public Enemy album, Yo Bum Rush the Show, was made without a sampler, just drum machines, vocals and DJ cuts. But in the song Public Enemy No. 1, you clearly hear an endless loop using an old James Brown song, Blow Your Head by Fred Wesley and the JBs. But how did Hank Shockley do this without a sampler? Together with producer Steve Ed, Hank Shockley used the pause tape technique. They recorded the James Brown song over and over again on a 2-inch tape and glued it together to create one giant loop. The loop was 1 minute and 30 seconds long. The tape had to be a few meters long, and it had to run through the studio between music stands, keeping the tape tight. And if you listen carefully, you can hear the click in the loop. For Public Enemy's second album, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, one of the first samplers were used, the 4-bit and Sonic Mirage. Back in the 80s, this sampler was a state-of-the-art machine with 3 seconds sample time.
1, 2, 3.
But Hank Shockley needed more to create his sound he envisioned. The limitations of the machine made him creative. He recorded fragments of the song he wanted to use at a very high speed, then slowed it down in the Mirage to the normal speed. That way he could use 3 seconds more efficient. Back to Public Enemy's sound and to Chuck D. James Brown had a huge influence on Chuck D growing up as a kid. In 1968, the civil rights movement was devastated after the death of Martin Luther King. Then James Brown released Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. James Brown single-handedly took a lost and confused nation of people and bonded them together with the song.
Mr. Brown is #1 soul brother in the United States.
He's black and he's proud.
He brings out the good in me. He's like the preacher.
Chuck D states, I was convinced I was black instead of a Negro. Heavily influenced by James Brown's music and his attitude, Public Enemy was born. They would create a form of hip-hop that was radical, both politically and sonically. Chuck D with his gospel preaching style of rapping and strong message, but Hank Shocklee's heavy production added another dimension to Chuck D's black history lessons. So not only the drums of James Brown moved the dance floors in the 70s, 80s and 90s, also his political message was heard in so many songs and especially in hip-hop. So once again,
say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Thank you, KC, for taking us back to school. Because I know a lot of you watching who think they know things. We're like, oh, I didn't know that about Hank Shockley. So thank you, Case. Also, thank you for showing us that you can't separate black music with protest. Those things go hand in hand. And in what I call the musical book of resistance, there are many more pages filled with stories that we don't know about, or a lot of people don't know about. And one of those stories in the book of musical resistance is a festival called the Harlem Cultural Festival that took place in 1969. We went up to the moon. There was another festival going on the other side called Woodstock, but what we didn't really know about was the Summer of Soul. Have a look.
Are you ready, black people? Are you really ready? Are you ready to listen to all the beautiful black voices, the beautiful black feeling, the beautiful black waves moving in beautiful air? Are you ready, black people? Are you ready?
Nobody ever heard of the Harlem Culture Festival. Nobody would believe it happened.
6 weekends of major artists. The Panthers were the security and kids were sitting up on the trees. I was nervous.
I didn't expect a crowd like that. Something very important was happening. It wasn't just about the music.
1969 was a change of era in the black community.
The styles were changing.
Music was changing.
And revolution was coming together.
We are a new people. We are a beautiful people.
That concert took my life from black and white into color.
We wanted progress. We are black people, and we should be proud of this.
We were coming together to say this was our world and how beautiful it was.
We're going to try to sing a song together. Don't wait for your neighbor, because your neighbor might be waiting for you. Wanna take you higher? Are you ready? Wanna take you higher?
We believed in what we felt in here. So when we went up, let's go. Let's go do it.
Wow, directed by Amir Questlove Thompson, who we know as a drummer of The Roots.
Yep.
But he's a man of many talents. But that's another discussion for another time.
Definitely.
Casey, you watched the movie. I watched it.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction?
I thought it was beautiful, like jaw-dropping beautiful.
Yeah.
You know?
Literally beautiful, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful because, you know, the crowd is even beautiful, you know, and the colors and, you know, the gospel singers with their suits, and it's so colorful.
So, because I was watching it and I forgot to check out the music. Like, you could just watch the movie with no sound and just still be mesmerized by all the beautiful people. But you are a music man. What stood out for you in the documentary that Questlove made?
Ooh, so many things, like Sly Stone.
Yeah.
You know, Prince is standing on his back, you know.
You see it in the movie that there wouldn't be a Prince without Sly Stone, eh?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And another thing is the power of gospel music.
Okay. What struck you about the power of gospel music?
Well, the documentary really states that, you know, the whole Afro-American community was confused, you know, and you know, with gospel they can cope with their injustice,
with all the stress,
with all the stress, and with the you know,
the pain and the suffering.
The pain and the suffering.
Yeah.
So, you know, Mahalia Jackson just blew me away, and Mavis Staples.
Yeah.
And
Well, because let's stick to that, because you in the documentary you see Malcolm is shot, Dr. King is shot, the two Kennedy brothers are shot, and you see through the music how that struck the black hearts and minds.
Definitely.
And then there's this scene with Mahalia Jackson and with Mavis. What was so beautiful about that scene?
well, you see that people get lost in music.
In the gospel.
In the gospel.
Yeah.
And, well, it really struck me in a very deep way. I really can't explain it, you know.
Because you weren't really a gospel man.
No.
So this.
I love gospel music. Don't get me wrong, but you know, this is a whole different kind of.
So people should watch.
Yeah, definitely.
So, KC the Funkaholic said it. I said it. I think it's a good idea. You can watch the movie if you're in Amsterdam. We're screening it, or the Melkweg is screening it just here at the Leidse Square. You can watch it on Disney Plus or many other streaming channels. Be sure to check it out to get your musical dose of black history. Thank you.
Yes, I am also very, 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 very excited to go and see that one and feel that what Andrew and Casey are talking about, and also feel how that funk was working over there. Because if there is anybody who knows and understands the funk, it'll be our judges. And Casey had a talk with them about that big F-U-N-K. And this is what they had to say. Check it out.
The funk is everywhere in everyday music because it's the base of every kind of music coming after. From the funk came the disco, from the funk came the hip hop, from the disco came the house. So you got all this music coming from the funk. So which is mean that you can find the funk in those new music.
Because, you know, funk music is the base also for the pop music actually. You know, sometimes you listen, you're like, oh yeah, that sounds good. You get a funk into it.
So it was Make It Funky. The song Make It Funky, Make It Funky. This is for me, I think, one of the songs change the way I see the music, I see the dance, and it's so easy to hide behind the fast music. You don't have time to feel, but when you dance on the slow music, you have to understand everything you're doing. It's quite difficult. You're naked. You're here and you have to feel, to show what you show yourself. You have to show yourself.
The funk element in the whacking, for me, is essential. Technique and funk go together. For a dancer, you need to get some funk. You could be a dancer without the technique, but you cannot be a dancer just with technique. You need some funk. Some get it like naturally. Most of the time it's because they've been dancing with the parents, like every Sunday, partying with the cousin and families. You know, this is how you get educated with the funk.
The funk is the feeling. The funk is different for everybody. So you can't learn the funk, but you can understand what is funk, what is not, where it's come from. For me, to feel the funk, to understand the funk, you have to be true with yourself. And to be true with yourself, it means that you have to understand yourself. And then when you realize you find yourself, you just want to feel. And you don't care about what the people want and what they're gonna say about you, because you find yourself. Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful. And the couch I'm looking at is also very beautiful because I have two of the locking judges here, Willow and Sugar Ray. Hey, hey, hey. And next to them, I have one of the whacking judges. Wakisha is here. Very excited, very nice. Looking at this, I'm getting excited, right? My voice is going up. I want to dance. I want to ha. But I want to know, like that moment when you discovered the funk, can you recall that moment? What was it for you?
Yeah, I can recall it. It was at home for me because my father was collecting vinyls, and there was some reggae music, there was some African music, and there was some funk music. So the first souvenir I have with the funk is from my home, my childhood. Yeah.
It's a childhood memory. You realize, okay, I like this, but then that funk came and it took you somewhere else.
Yeah. As a child, I didn't realize that it was funk. It was funky. It was just music for me, and I just get caught to the funk when I discovered the locking some years ago when I was 17 or 18 years old, and the first move I did on this music, I get caught, I get stung, and I'm still there. I'm 36 now. It's been almost 20 years, and I just dig and dig and dig to understand, to find the music, to know the artist, to know the history, because it's really linked for me. The funk, the music is really linked with the history, with the civil rights movement, with the black community in America. So it's linked to things I could relate, because I'm coming also to a black community, but in France, in Paris,
yeah,
coming from Africa. So it was linked with my past. So I just grabbed this music, grabbed this feeling, grabbed this culture, and
it never let you go.
I never let it go. Yeah.
Sugar Ray, when did you get a big case of the funk?
When I was a child, I grew up. My parents are from Congo, and we listened to Dombolo, and Dombolo there is funk in it, So that's why I think the very, very beginning was in there, but I didn't realize it either, Funk, I hear it in hip hop music. I hear it from songs like Notorious B.I.G., P. Diddy, they had sampled like funk songs, but back then I didn't know that the songs were sampled. Then later, when I got more into the rap music, hip hop music, then I realized, okay, there are originals from the 70s and the 80s. And that caught me. That was my first contact with the funk music. Yeah.
Well, Keisha, when did it catch you, and when were you able to translate that to, oh, okay, this is funk. This is nothing else but funk?
Actually, I have a video of me 2 years old dancing to the beat. Okay, it's crazy because my dad's a locker. He's from Belize, but he grew up in New York. And one day he came to my school, and my principal is his dance partner from New York. And he comes into the school, and they don't like to come to school, my parents, because they're bodybuilders and it takes away from their gym time. And so my dad comes, and he always walks into the room like this, always pacing. He's always like, And so he comes in and he does this routine with my principal. And I'm like, what's happening? I wish I could have had a camera. It was crazy. So those were that was in high school, but when I was a kid, my dad let us know from very, very young. He was obsessed, and he always showed us pictures. I have a picture of my dad with James Brown. He got called on stage.
Tell us a little bit about that, because indeed I saw that and I was like, hold up. Your parents met James Brown. They got funky with him.
Yeah. So James Brown was checking my mom. And my dad...
Of course.
And he kept going, hey, you over there, like that. And my mom kept saying, he kept saying, hey to me. And I'm like, who's he looking at? And my dad stepped in front of my mom, and he started to just dance or whatever. But letting him know, of course, I respect you. It's my girl. But I love you too, And so when he's I guess James Brown saw it, and then my dad kept dancing, and so he called him on stage. And what was really important was he was always on the, you got to hit it on the one, right? And you got to hit in between. And dancers, if they came on stage and you didn't get that, he kicked you off. So my dad kept hearing about it, so he's like, yo, if there's anyone that's in the pocket, it's me.
It's you.
So he got called on, and once he hit it in the pocket, they got to jam together. Wow. So my dad always told us that story, and then we have a picture with my mom, James Brown. My mom, James Brown, my uncle, his girlfriend, and my dad at the end, And them also in the limo. Wow. So me knowing James Brown and seeing on TV, like my dad used to be like, listen, man, you guys, you know, we liked hip hop. So he was just like, listen, man, the funk is where it's at. What do you think hip hop is? They get it from us, man. And he used to show us all the records and also doing chores. We had 30 minutes of my dad's music and 30 minutes of my mom. And my dad's first 5 songs were always the same. It was always Africa Bambaataa, Planet Rock. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. There was that. There was Cameo. Our love goes back and forth and forth. Yeah. And so there was like that and like Heavy D. There was something else. And my mom was always like Shaka Khan, Diana Ross, CeCe Wine. So it was just really growing up. It was like my dad was like, he knew we were drifting off to other things. And he was like, hey.
You make sure you get that funk first.
Get that funk. So I always did popping and all this other stuff. But I realized that was always my base.
Yeah.
And I only got back to actually dancing it when he passed away.
You had no other choice but to be funky.
I had to. It calmed my soul. And one day I was dancing, and whenever I would dance, I would cry. So it would take over. So I couldn't actually dance in battle because I would just tear up. And I remember Tony Gogo saw me in Australia, and he was like, we need more black women to lock, man. Like, where y'all at? Like, I know you're out there. Like, this is our dance, and we don't see us. Yeah. You know, we see a lot of Japanese. We see a lot of people, like, do the dance a favor. Because I'm always like, yo, I do so many styles. Like, why are you putting it on my back? He's like, because you got it and you're funky and you might as well do it. So it kind of got me to get back.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Woo, that's a hot seat. Are y'all comfortable over there next to this royalty on the couch? Just checking.
Yeah, super comfortable. Yeah.
Indeed, you know, the funk, I think it's also, it's you can describe it in many forms and many sounds, but it's a feeling, right? And this feeling, right? What place does it take for you in your day-to-day life? Do you look for it in other genres of music? Do you look for it in whatever you do?
Yeah, because the feeling is when you get caught on the music, the feeling become a way of life. You know, anytime in my life I'm funky because I live for the funk. I live the funky way. So for me, the funky way is to be cool, to be positive, to be strong, to be proud of your roots. So that's the way I live now, and it's thanks to the funk. I really found my way to the funk, and I live the funk every day, every time, anytime, day and night. I dress funky. I speak funky.
Funky brother.
I smell funky.
You smell funky. Sugar Ray, you smell funky?
Oh, yes, every day.
After class.
After class, yeah. It's a lifestyle. I have to agree with Willow. It's really a lifestyle. And it also helped me to understand everything around me in my life. So, yes, funk is the lifestyle, yeah.
Funk is the lifestyle. But Keisha, you're putting the funk in whacking because you're one of the whacking judges tomorrow. Yeah. Looking forward to that. Yeah. Absolutely looking forward to that. But to get the people hot for that, right? Can you give us a little bit of that funk? I bet Casey has a record ready to say, okay, you know, link. Okay. And then we need to get funky right here. Because with that story, with all this funkness, let's get there. Ow! Okay.
Hey, fellas. Yeah. Hey, fellas. Yeah. What's funk? What? What's funk? What?
I know what funk is.
What's that?
I know what funk is.
What's that?
Well, funk is when you jam down to a big time department store. Cop about $500 worth of clothes and the man say, I'm sorry, but your credit didn't go through. What funk is?
What's that?
Funk is going outside to get in your car, turn around, pull your keys out your pocket, turn around, and your car ain't where you left it.
That's it. Hey. Hey, fellas. Yeah. Hey, fellas. Yeah. What's funk? What? What's funk? What?
I know what funk is.
What's that?
Yeah.
I know what
Keisha. Ooh, we gotta stand up. Give it up. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Right? Excited, excited, excited. So, okay, so tomorrow, Whacking, I bet you're very excited. Everybody also at home, they're getting ready for that. Thursday, you will be there, but also Roche, the third judge. Y'all looking out for anything special? Funk.
Yeah, I think we said it all. We're looking for the funk, man. Yeah. You have to come with your funk.
Okay. Okay. Well, looking for that funk, I want to say good luck. Find it, keep it, spread it, and do as you do. And thanks again. One big love, give love. The people that are here, and give love to their couch of funkiness. All right. See you there. And to give you that reminder, what is on what day, we have that festival overview coming to you right now. Now the moment I am sure a lot of y'all have been waiting for. Let's get into those battles because it's the moment. It's gonna come. It's gonna be there. They're gonna be here. The top 12 is gonna be here in the Paradiso. No videos we have to check. No, they're gonna battle it here, right here on this floor. I'm already feeling that amazing energy, and you want to be a part of that. You want to see that. You want to feel that, and you can. Because you can check it online. Of course, I told you already, check out the Instagram, the Facebook, YouTube, but also that summerdanceforever.com, and make sure you get your access to check out the battles. Because at first, you can check it out for free, and then we get to the top 3, and then you will have to put 5 on it. €5. I hope that is not too much. It's not too much, right? For every finger you have 5. €5. Get yourself that access to see the top 3, the battles with the judges and everything, that whole extra feeling, that whole good stuff. But not only you can see the battles, you can also vote. So get into that. Make sure you get your access so you can check it out and see who is in that top 12, all the 5 categories going along head to head here in the Paradiso. And, of course, those judges that are on top of their game who will be battling. And who these judges are, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so, drum roll, please. So, for Whacking, we have the judges. Bagzi, Junaidri, and Wakisha. Let's not act as if there are no people here. Make some noise. Thank you very much. Yes. So for locking, we have Sugar Ray, Willow, and Roche. For house, we have Wesley, Frankie J, and Francois. For poppin', Damon Frost, Sally Sly, and Cynthia. And last but absolutely not least, we will have for hip hop, Sta la Muerte, Alex the Cage, and Frankie D. Yes. Yes. That's super. I mean, I'm gonna already like, and then of course you want to know who these dancers are, who the judges selected to be that top 12 here, battling it out in the Paradiso. Well, here you go. This is your top 12.
Wow. So much to look forward to in this edition of Summer Dance Forever 2021, and it has only just begun with me, John. John, what do you think about the top dancers, the judges? Say something, brother.
Listen, I must tell you, man, the judges are going to give people a hard time.
Yeah? Explain.
Hard.
I see
There's
that
nothing
smile.
to explain.
No, but you
know
gotta
what I mean?
give me something.
You know
like
what?
how
People just got to tune in, all right, and see what's happening. Because, this week, even with pandemic or no pandemic, they can't stop us. We're keeping the funk on fire.
And
I'm just excited.
So that's
excited.
the judges and the dancers, because you've seen who they selected.
Listen, it was not easy, you know what I'm saying, because of the rules and regulations to get the best together, but we did manage to get the best together.
Yeah.
So.
And just give us a little, where are we heading quality-wise? Because, like, you've introduced a new category, but the level of the dancers, where?
Summer Dance Forever got the highest level. I don't care what anybody says. Watching which camera, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Listen,
okay.
We have the highest level worldwide.
Amen. It has been said.
That's it. Done.
This is
I said it. I dropped it.
The bomb has been dropped. It's a big, bad, stinky bomb.
We have the best music.
It's.
We have the best dancers. We got the best organization, and we have the best venue.
And
pandemic or no pandemic, it's here.
So for those of you who are doubters, stay tuned on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the social medias. This is only the pre-cap, so the rest of the week it's up to you. You can join us for free, and as Jennifer said at the end, it's only €5 on it, €5. Jennifer, where are you, Empress Queen? Thank you.
We already said it, right? Follow the socials, indeed, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. But indeed, make sure that you follow all those battles. Where do you do that? SummerDanceForever.com. You follow all those battles until we get to that top 3. The rest is for free, but that top 3, make sure you pay your €5, your hard work €5. Spend them right, spend them good. Make sure you can check out all these battles and be here with us, because we are absolutely excited to be here live in the Paradiso. Summer Dance Forever 2021 has officially begun. Casey, it's all up to you.
It's your primitive inspired anthem. It's your primitive inspired anthem. If you got a big, let me search it to find out how hard I gotta work here. It's your primitive inspired anthem. It's your primitive inspired anthem. Like to get to know ya, so I can show ya. Put a hurtin' on ya, like I told ya. Give me all your numbers so I can phone ya. Your girl acting stink, then call me over. Not on the bed, lay me on your sofa. Call before you come, I need to shave my chop chop. You do what you don't, or you will, I won't chop. Go downtown and eat it like a vulture. See my hips, big hips, so chop. See my butt and my lips don't chop. Lost a few pounds in my waist, oh yeah. This the kind of beat that go ra-ta-ta. Ra-ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Sex me so good I say blah, blah, blah. Work it, I need a glass of water. Boy, oh boy, it's good to know ya. Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive plan, get them. It's your primitive plan, get them. If you got a big, let me search it to find out how hard I gotta work. Yeah, it's your primitive plan, get them. It's your primitive plan, get them. Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive plan, get them. It's your primitive plan, get them. If you got a big, let me search it to find out how hard I gotta work. Yeah, it's your primitive plan, get them. It's your primitive plan, get them. Boy, lift it up, let's make a toast. Let's get drunk, this gon' bring us closer. Don't I look like the Holly Berry poster? See the Belvedere playing tricks on ya. Girlfriend wanna be like me, never. You won't find a chick that's even better. I make it hot as Las Vegas weather. Listen up close while I take it backwards. Oh, I'm against it, now listen here, we joke. I'm not a prostitute, but I can give you what you want. I love your brains